Life is a question, often unspoken, yet profoundly urgent. What are you doing with your life? From the moment we wake to the moment we sleep, every action, every thought, and every decision contributes to a trajectory. Yet few stop to examine where they are heading or why. Krishnamurti, in his timeless work, What Are You Doing With Your Life?, confronts us with this question, not as a gentle suggestion, but as a deep, unavoidable challenge. He compels readers to examine not only external ambitions, but the inner landscape of thought, desire, fear, and conformity that shapes choices. The book is both mirror and guide. It reflects the unnoticed patterns that control our lives while pointing toward the freedom of conscious living. If you love powerful, insightful, and life-changing books, then you found the right channel. Every week, we break down the ideas that transform mindsets, elevate success, and shift lives. So don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you'll want to catch every book we review. Let's continue. At the core of Krishnamurti's message is the idea that most human beings drift through life on autopilot, unconsciously following social conventions, parental expectations, and cultural norms. We pursue careers, wealth, or status because we are conditioned to, not because they resonate with our authentic selves. Consider the modern American college student who chooses a major because it promises job security rather than passion. Globally, young professionals in India or Nigeria often select careers based on parental guidance or societal prestige, suppressing inner inclinations. Krishnamurti challenges the reader to break this cycle, to examine the why behind every choice, to question the invisible pressures shaping life decisions, and to awaken to the freedom of conscious choice. He asserts that clarity of purpose begins with self-awareness. Understanding the nature of our mind, the sources of our desires, and the roots of our fears allows us to act from insight rather than impulse. Many people achieve remarkable external success, yet feel an inner void because they have not confronted the psychological currents guiding their decisions. For instance, Mark Zuckerberg, though widely celebrated, has publicly acknowledged the intense self-reflection required to balance personal values, societal impact, and professional ambition. Globally, activists like Malala Yousafzai also illustrate how clarity of purpose, rooted in deep self-awareness, can direct courage and action toward meaningful goals. Awareness of one's mind, Krishnamurti teaches, is the foundation from which authentic life choices emerge. The next insight flows naturally from self-awareness: the importance of questioning authority and tradition. Krishnamurti emphasizes that unquestioned adherence to social, educational, or religious norms constrains individuality. This does not mean disregarding guidance entirely, but rather evaluating whether the paths presented align with one's inner truth. A recent example in the United States is the rise of career rebels who leave corporate jobs to pursue entrepreneurial ventures aligned with personal passions, sometimes facing familial disapproval. In Japan and South Korea, some young adults reject conventional office careers to start creative or tech-driven ventures, demonstrating that the courage to question inherited expectations is not culturally limited. By interrogating norms and assumptions, individuals can discover paths uniquely suited to their authentic selves, opening doors to fulfillment rather than mere conformity. Closely connected to questioning norms is the realization that time is fleeting and impermanent. Krishnamurti reminds us that human life, unlike any project or career milestone, cannot be paused, postponed, or reclaimed. Every moment spent unconsciously, distractedly, or in unexamined routine is irretrievably lost. In the fast-paced digital era, the ubiquity of social media, streaming, and endless notifications often erodes focus and diminishes reflection. Consider young professionals in Silicon Valley, consumed by productivity metrics, yet seeking meaning through meditation, sabbaticals, or personal projects. Similarly, entrepreneurs in global markets such as Nairobi or Sao Paulo often balance rapid professional growth with deliberate pauses for reflection, recognizing that clarity of purpose requires time and attention. Awareness of life's impermanence fosters urgency, pushing one to confront the question of authentic purpose rather than drift aimlessly. Krishnamurti also emphasizes the centrality of freedom in making meaningful life choices. True freedom is not merely the absence of external constraints, but the liberation from internal conditioning, fear, desire, guilt, and social expectation. Many individuals believe freedom is external, the ability to choose a career, partner, or lifestyle. Yet without understanding the psychological forces that shape choices, this freedom is superficial. A notable example is the increasing trend in American and European societies of mindfulness practices and therapy aimed at understanding subconscious patterns that dictate behavior. Globally, meditation and self-inquiry traditions in India and Bhutan reinforce the idea that liberation from internal compulsion allows authentic action. Life's direction is chosen when one is truly free internally.
Action grounded in awareness, freedom, and clarity leads to responsibility. Krishnamurti asserts that once we understand ourselves and see the forces that shape our decisions, we cannot hide behind excuses. To live authentically is to assume full responsibility for choices, reactions, and impact on others. In modern corporate America, leaders increasingly adopt conscious leadership models, emphasizing ethical decision-making, employee welfare, and social impact. Similarly, social entrepreneurs in Africa or Latin America often take direct responsibility for solving systemic challenges in communities, demonstrating that awareness of self and environment naturally cultivates accountable action. Responsibility is not a burden, but a consequence of clarity and freedom, and it enables meaningful contribution. The next thread in Krishnamurti's philosophy is the importance of relationships and interaction. Our lives are entwined with others, and our choices inevitably affect those around us. Awareness of self and freedom alone are insufficient. One must engage with the world consciously. Krishnamurti emphasizes observation without judgment, learning from human interaction without the distortions of ego, fear, or attachment. In the American context, educators and leaders are increasingly integrating emotional intelligence and empathy into professional development, recognizing that awareness and responsibility extend beyond the individual. Globally, humanitarian initiatives rely on understanding, collaboration, and conscious engagement to effect sustainable change. Observing and understanding relationships allows one to navigate life with insight, compassion, and efficacy. Creativity, curiosity, and inquiry are natural extensions of this process. Life, according to Krishnamurti, is not a series of pre-scripted roles, but a canvas for exploration. By fostering curiosity about the world, questioning assumptions, and exploring interests, individuals cultivate a life of richness, flexibility, and discovery. Consider the explosion of innovative startups in the U.S., where curiosity drives the creation of technologies that redefine industries. In China, India, and Nigeria, young innovators blend creativity with cultural insight to create solutions that address local challenges while impacting global markets. Curiosity, grounded in awareness and freedom, enables life to be actively discovered rather than passively lived. As we move deeper into Krishnamurti's teachings, the next insight becomes unavoidable. Fear is one of the most powerful forces shaping human behavior, often unconsciously. Fear of failure, judgment, or uncertainty can trap individuals in lives dictated by societal expectations rather than authentic desire. Krishnamurti asserts that observing fear without avoidance or denial is essential to breaking free from its influence. In the American entrepreneurial ecosystem, founders face fear daily. Fear of rejection, financial instability, or public scrutiny. But those who confront it directly, like Sarah Blakely or Elon Musk, transform fear into motivation and calculated risk. Globally, social innovators in countries like Kenya, India, or Brazil confront societal, political, or financial obstacles that evoke fear, yet awareness and courage allow them to act decisively. Recognition and understanding of fear transforms it from a limiting force into a guide for conscious action. Desire, another central force, operates in tandem with fear to subtly direct life choices. Krishnamurti emphasizes that unexamined desire, whether for status, wealth, or recognition, can unconsciously control decisions, leading to frustration, dissatisfaction, or ethical compromise. True liberation emerges when one understands the nature of desire and chooses consciously. Modern examples abound. In the U.S., tech innovators often navigate the tension between profit and purpose, balancing ambition with impact. Globally, philanthropists like Muhammad Yunus or Kailash Satyarthi act with awareness of desire, channeling it into meaningful social change rather than personal accumulation. Recognizing desire allows one to align ambitions with authentic purpose, preventing life from being hijacked by unconscious craving. Procrastination and inaction often follow fear and desire, subtly eroding potential. Krishnamurti challenges readers to confront this tendency, emphasizing that clarity without action is meaningless. The gap between thought and execution is where life is often wasted. In America, many aspiring entrepreneurs delay starting ventures due to fear or overanalysis, missing the critical window of opportunity. Globally, talented individuals in emerging economies face similar paralysis, hindered by bureaucratic obstacles, limited resources, or self-doubt. The antidote is mindful action. Deliberate, informed, and consistent steps toward goals, grounded in self-awareness and insight. Every moment of conscious action builds momentum, while delay reinforces habitual drift. Krishnamurti also emphasizes the pervasive influence of societal conditioning. Schools, workplaces, religious institutions, and cultural norms often subtly dictate desires, fears, and definitions of success. Awareness of this conditioning allows individuals to make authentic choices rather than unconsciously adopting inherited values. In the U.S., individuals increasingly reject linear career paths, opting for roles that align with personal values or lifestyle priorities. Globally, cultural innovators challenge societal scripts. Artists in India, tech entrepreneurs in Africa, and social reformers in Latin America pursue paths often at odds with conventional expectations. Recognizing and transcending conditioning liberates life from preset patterns and opens space for authentic exploration.
Healing is not weakness. Healing is preparation. A healed mind makes wiser choices. A healed heart forms healthier relationships. A healed identity unlocks boldness. Examples of this abound. After the 2020 global pandemic and its emotional impact, many individuals worldwide decided to seek therapy, embrace mental health resources, mend family bonds, or redefine personal boundaries. This healing empowered countless people to make stronger life decisions, choosing healthier partners, leaving toxic friendships, pursuing careers that previously overwhelmed them, or starting businesses they once felt unworthy of attempting. Healing didn't just make them feel better, it made their decisions sharper. Once you begin healing, you naturally become capable of another critical step: the courage to make unpopular decisions. Jakes teaches that great decisions often defy public opinion because destiny assignments rarely fit societal expectations. The crowd loves conformity, but greatness requires distinction. If you make decisions to please everyone, you will eventually disappoint yourself. But if you make decisions that honor your calling, the right people will eventually support you. History celebrates those who chose truth over popularity. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, Greta Thunberg, Malala Yousafzai. Their decisions were unpopular at the beginning, but transformational in the end. Even in business, innovators like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or Paystack founders Ezra Alubi and Shola Akinlade made decisions that many initially criticized or mocked, but the courage to stand alone made their impact possible. Your destiny may require decisions that others cannot understand because the vision was not given to them, it was given to you. But courage alone is not enough. Jakes emphasizes that great decisions require consistency. A moment of courage must become a lifestyle of commitment. Too many people begin boldly but quit prematurely. They make a powerful decision, step into the unknown, face early resistance, and then retreat. But destiny rewards consistency. Think of newly launched YouTube channels or TikTok creators today. Many people create content for 2 weeks, get discouraged by low views, and quit. Yet some of the biggest creators today posted for months, sometimes years, with minimal engagement before their breakthrough. Their decision wasn't a one-time event, it was a sustained commitment. Consistency transforms small decisions into monumental outcomes. Globally, athletes, musicians, activists, and entrepreneurs share the same story. The decision made on day 1 only mattered because they honored it on day 2, day 30, and day 3000. Consistency is the bridge between decision and destiny. The next major lesson Jakes explores is one that many overlook. You must decide whom to trust. Discernment is a decision. People can influence your path more than any other factor, so the people you trust are part of your destiny equation. Some relationships strengthen your wisdom, others weaken your judgment. Jakes warns that trusting the wrong people can destroy years of progress. Countless lives across the world have been derailed by misplaced trust. Business partnerships with unethical people, friendships with jealous hearts, romantic relationships with manipulative motives, collaborations with inconsistent individuals. But the opposite is also true. Trusting the right people can accelerate your journey. A single mentor, leader, friend, or partner can elevate your thinking and expand your opportunities. Many business owners owe their early breakthroughs to a single investor who believed in them. Many musicians and creators were elevated because someone trusted their talent and opened a door. Many students became global leaders because a teacher saw potential where others saw insignificance. Trust is a decision that must be made with heart and wisdom. This naturally brings us to another principle. You must decide what to prioritize. Decisions without priorities lead to scattered energy. You cannot do everything. You cannot chase every opportunity. You cannot please everyone. Jakes argues that clarity is born in prioritization. When you decide what matters most, everything else becomes easier to manage. In recent years, the global conversation around work-life balance has highlighted this truth. Professionals across America, Europe, Asia, and Africa have begun making tough decisions, quitting high-paying jobs but soul-crushing jobs, relocating to healthier environments, refusing toxic workplace cultures,
or choosing family time over constant hustle. These choices are not acts of laziness, they are acts of wisdom. A meaningful life demands priorities. The next lesson is deeply practical. You must decide to plan. Great decisions require strategy. Passion without planning leads to chaos. Jakes teaches that planning is not the opposite of faith. It is the expression of faith. When you believe a great future is possible, you prepare for it. Planning transforms dreams into steps. Steps become habits. Habits become outcomes. This is why nations with strong development strategies grow steadily over time. This is why successful companies operate with systems, objectives, and benchmarks. This is why individuals who plan their finances, careers, and personal growth often achieve more consistency than those who live reactively. But Jakes also reminds us that plans must be flexible because destiny rarely moves in straight lines. You must plan with wisdom, but remain open to divine redirection. Sometimes the road changes not because you failed, but because something better awaits you. And this transitions beautifully into another vital truth. You must decide to innovate. The world evolves quickly. Yesterday's decisions cannot always solve today's problems. Innovation is not only for tech companies and creative industries, it is for anyone who wants to remain relevant. Whether you are a student, an entrepreneur, a parent, a leader, or simply a person seeking growth, your ability to adapt will determine your impact. Look at the global shift towards digital transformation. Schools moved online. Businesses embraced e-commerce. Churches streamed services. Individuals learned new digital skills. Those who innovated thrived. Those who resisted struggled. Innovation is a decision, and the future belongs to those willing to reinvent themselves. Jakes then presents one of his most transformational insights. You must decide what voice you will obey. Every decision is influenced by a voice. God's voice, your inner wisdom, the noise of culture, the opinions of others, or the whispers of fear. The voice you choose determines the future you create. You must choose the voice that speaks to your highest self, your deepest truth, your noblest purpose. Whether one frames it spiritually or practically, the concept remains the same. Destiny whispers, and only those who listen make the decisions that define greatness. This leads us towards the emotional heart of the book. Great decisions require great truth. You must be honest with yourself about your fears, desires, weaknesses, strengths, motivations, patterns, and goals. Many people make disastrous decisions because they hide from the truth. They deny their unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or harmful tendencies. Greatness demands truth.
Freedom, responsibility, and awareness converge in Krishnamurti's exploration of authentic choice. He emphasizes that genuine decisions arise not from obligation or fear, but from clear understanding of self, situation, and consequence. The American shift toward purpose-driven careers, social entrepreneurship, and conscious consumption reflects this principle. Individuals increasingly seek work and lifestyles that resonate with inner values rather than external expectations. Globally, leaders like Muhammad Yunus in microfinance or community organizers in South Africa exemplify how conscious choices, rooted in awareness and responsibility, produce profound societal benefit. Krishnamurti teaches that authenticity is inseparable from choice. Without awareness, freedom becomes an illusion. Without freedom, responsibility cannot exist. The examination of relationships and interdependence becomes an essential next step. Krishnamurti underscores that self-awareness and freedom are incomplete without understanding one's connection to others. Human life is not solitary. Our choices and actions reverberate through communities, workplaces, and families. In the United States, effective leaders increasingly emphasize empathy, emotional intelligence, and collaborative problem-solving as essential skills. Globally, Humanitarian initiatives, cooperative enterprises, and grassroots movements demonstrate that conscious engagement with others multiplies the impact of individual insight and effort. Awareness of interdependence transforms action from self-centered ambition into contribution, fostering both personal fulfillment and societal progress. Krishnamurti also emphasizes the power of observation without judgment. To understand life deeply, one must witness the world and oneself without distorting reality through preconceptions, biases, or fear. This disciplined awareness allows for clarity of thought, ethical action, and insightful problem-solving. For example, American innovators like Jeff Bezos observe consumer behavior meticulously, translating observation into innovative solutions. Globally, scientists, educators, and entrepreneurs rely on careful, unbiased observation to navigate complex social, environmental, or technological challenges. Observation is the lens through which insight, creativity, and authentic decision-making emerge. A natural progression from observation is learning from experience. Krishnamurti insists that education extends beyond books and formal instruction. It is a lifelong process rooted in reflection, curiosity, and critical inquiry. American professionals embrace continuous learning through mentorship, online education, and cross-disciplinary exploration, understanding that adaptation and insight are essential in a rapidly changing world. Globally, innovators, activists, and social entrepreneurs adapt lessons from local and international contexts, demonstrating that experience combined with conscious reflection produces wisdom applicable across domains. Learning is both the foundation and the fuel for deliberate living. The cultivation of inner stillness and attention becomes a vital element in integrating these lessons. Krishnamurti teaches that clarity emerges from quiet reflection, away from distraction and habitual thought patterns. In the contemporary U.S., meditation, mindfulness, and reflective retreats are increasingly adopted to enhance focus, reduce stress, and clarify purpose. Globally, contemplative practices in Asia, Africa, and Europe cultivate the same outcomes: insight, awareness, and intentionality. Inner stillness allows one to observe life as it unfolds, to act with deliberation, and to navigate complexity with calm precision. Finally, Krishnamurti emphasizes that authentic living is an active, continuous pursuit. It is not a destination, but a dynamic process of observing, reflecting, choosing, and acting in alignment with awareness and freedom. In America, leaders, creatives, and entrepreneurs embody this principle by iteratively refining strategies, learning from feedback, and maintaining ethical clarity. Globally, activists, innovators, and educators model similar continuous engagement, demonstrating that authentic life is a practice, not a fixed outcome. By consciously integrating insight, freedom, responsibility, and curiosity, individuals create a life that is both meaningful and impactful. Krishnamurti's inquiry ultimately calls for integration, bringing together awareness, freedom, responsibility, and creativity into a coherent approach to life. Each insight previously discussed, self-awareness, questioning norms, confronting fear and desire, embracing uncertainty, observing without judgment, acting responsibly, and cultivating curiosity is not a standalone lesson. They form an interdependent web, a framework for living deliberately rather than drifting. The power of this integration lies in its simplicity, living fully in the present, making conscious choices, and understanding the consequences of every thought, action, and interaction. A key realization emerges: the world mirrors the individual. Krishnamurti insists that transformation begins within. Societies plagued by inequality, conflict, or environmental degradation are not separate from human consciousness. They reflect collective thought, conditioning, and action. In the United States,
social movements for equality, climate justice, and ethical governance illustrate that personal awareness and responsibility can translate into collective impact. Globally, initiatives like microfinance in Bangladesh, education reform in Africa, or environmental stewardship in Scandinavia show how conscious individuals catalyze societal transformation. Acting with clarity and purpose not only shapes individual destiny, but also contributes to the wider human context. Krishnamurti emphasizes the necessity of courageous authenticity. Living authentically requires the courage to resist social pressures, to act in accordance with inner truth, even when it conflicts with expectation or tradition. Entrepreneurs like Elon Musk challenge entrenched industry norms. Creatives like Lagaga defy conventional beauty standards to express their vision. Globally, activists from Malala Yousafzai to environmental innovators in Latin America demonstrate the transformative impact of courage aligned with principle. Authenticity, Krishnamurti reminds us, is not a luxury, but a requirement for a life of meaning. It demands vigilance, reflection, and the willingness to stand apart.
Another critical principle is continuous self-inquiry. Life cannot be reduced to mechanical routines, external validation, or habit. Constant questioning of one's motives, beliefs, desires, and fears keeps the mind fresh, responsive, and aligned with truth. In modern American workplaces, executives and innovators adopt reflective practices, mentorship, and feedback loops to continuously refine their decisions and impact. Globally, leaders in education, social enterprise, and technology use reflection and inquiry to adapt to volatile, complex environments. Self-inquiry ensures that growth is not incidental but deliberate, that choices are conscious, and that life unfolds with purpose rather than by default. The application of these principles manifests in daily actions and decisions. Krishnamurti repeatedly emphasizes that awareness, freedom, and authenticity are not abstract ideals. They are lived experiences, enacted moment by moment. Each decision, no matter how small, contributes to the trajectory of life. An American professional might choose to mentor a junior colleague, not because it is expected, but because it aligns with a conscious understanding of responsibility. In India, a social entrepreneur might prioritize sustainable sourcing, reflecting awareness of environmental impact alongside social mission. Globally, these choices compound, shaping careers, relationships, and communities in profound ways. Authentic living is thus a continuous practice enacted through intentional, mindful decisions. Krishnamurti also underscores the necessity of balance between thought and action. Excessive introspection without execution breeds paralysis, while thoughtless action leads to chaos or ethical compromise. The alignment of insight and execution is what transforms understanding into tangible impact. For instance, American leaders like Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey combine deep reflection with decisive action to create global change. Similarly, global innovators, from African tech entrepreneurs to Asian education reformers, pair vision with rigorous implementation. Thought without action is inert. Action without insight is misdirected. True fulfillment arises from the convergence of both. In the concluding analysis, Krishnamurti frames life as an ongoing dialogue between freedom, responsibility, awareness, and creativity. Each element supports the others. Freedom allows authentic choice. Awareness informs responsibility. Responsibility directs creativity toward constructive outcomes. Creativity ensures the continued evolution of thought and action. The principle is universal, applicable across cultures, industries, and personal contexts.
Whether in the corridors of American startups, the classrooms of Europe, the social enterprises of Africa, or the creative studios of Asia, those who integrate these elements experience life as meaningful, expansive, and impactful. Finally, the ultimate question, what are you doing with your life, remains ever present, not as a challenge to provoke guilt, but as a call to conscious action. Krishnamurti teaches that life is too precious, too fleeting, and too interwoven with others' experiences to be lived unconsciously. Every decision, every relationship, every pursuit becomes an opportunity to embody awareness, act authentically, and contribute meaningfully. Modern examples abound. Leaders balancing career success with social impact, creatives redefining culture while inspiring millions, global innovators transforming systems with insight and courage. The question is not rhetorical. It is a compass pointing toward deliberate, conscious, and impactful living. In essence, Krishnamurti's work is a manual for deliberate existence. It compels the reader to examine every thought, desire, and action, to confront fear and societal pressures, to act courageously and responsibly, and to pursue a life of insight, creativity, and authenticity. Globally and in America, lives transformed through conscious reflection, ethical action, and courageous pursuit of purpose illustrate the enduring relevance of his teachings. Living authentically is not easy. It demands honesty, courage, and vigilance. But it is the path to fulfillment, meaning, and true freedom. By embracing these principles, every individual can move beyond mere survival or superficial achievement, and instead engage fully with life's potential. Krishnamurti's work reminds us that the journey is not linear, success is not preordained, and meaning is not granted. It is actively created through awareness, choice, and action. Those who dare to confront the question, what are you doing with your life, with honesty and courage, open themselves to a transformative journey that resonates across cultures, generations, and disciplines. The wisdom of Krishnamurti is universal. Life becomes rich, expansive, and profoundly impactful when lived consciously, authentically, and courageously.